Hey, hello, I'm JulieJo. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here. If you're not new here, welcome back. Today we're going to be watching a video that was sent to me through email about a Youngliving distributor ranting about something. I thought it might be a good one to watch since I haven't covered Youngliving in a while. If you don't know what Youngliving is, it is a mental level marketing. It is a multi-level marketing, not mental level. Well, let's not go there. It's a multi-level marketing company that sells essential oils and is what you might call snake oil, right? They say it cures everything. A lot of them do. And the owner of it, who has since passed away, was a freak show fake doctor who tried to say that he could help cure cancer down in Mexico and did all of this wild stuff. He was a quack doctor, and he wasn't even a real doctor. He got his diploma from some fake diploma mill. I'm not kidding about that, by the way. Look up Gary Young. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. You can hit the like button if you enjoy the video, and you can hit the bell button if you want to get notified when I post. Let's get started.
It's the night that we're gonna fall in love. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about your soft skin. Cause we're still sleeping in my head. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about your soft skin. Cause we're still sleeping in my head.
I haven't seen this video, so I don't really know what she's going to rant about, but feel free to guess below. Leave your thoughts below, your comments, an emoji, whatever you want to do to be a part of the conversation, because there's a lot to say here, I'm sure.
Hey, I'm really excited to be here with you tonight. I was waiting for like the perfect opportunity where I had makeup on, was a good time of day, but here we are, no makeup, at like, what is it, almost 7 o'clock here Central Time. On a Friday night, so there's probably not going to be a ton of people that pops on, but I wanted to hop in here and just talk about some things that I see are working in this business in this season, because as business owners, as we run our businesses, what we need to be able to do.
You being a 1099 contract employee for Youngliving does not make you a business owner, just a reminder. I'm sure business owners have some things to say about that.
Pivot, right? And that pivot, sometimes we're like, well, where do we pivot to? Like, what do I do? Why am I pivoting? And so I want to talk to you about pivoting in this season of your business, what that has looked like for us. We have seen a lot of success, a lot of fun, a lot of new rank ups in April, and hopefully carrying that on into May and June and all of the rest of the year. And I just want to pass on what we have been learning. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jenna actually, and I'm a silver leader here. My journey to silver looked completely different than it does now, and that's okay. And that's one thing that I wanted to talk to you about today.
So she said silver, which is like middle, a little bit less than the middle of the ranks for Youngliving. I'll look at her social media and stuff and see if I'm actually going to blur her or not. If she's blurred, it's because I ultimately decided to do so. If she's not blurred, it's because I decided not to, due to her rank in her social media.
I think in this season, in the season that we have come out of, one thing that we need to realize is that disappointment doesn't have to halt us. Disappointment can grow us. It can transform us. In this business, in any job, but in this business particularly, we're gonna meet disappointment face to face, and we have a decision to make. We can let that disappointment completely halt us and, not do anything, or we can use that disappointment or the unmet expectation to say, look, where can I take radical ownership as the owner of this business? Where can I take radical ownership?
There's a couple things I want to talk about there. Unmet expectation in MLM. So if we're talking about facts and we're talking about realistic thoughts and what can actually happen, the majority of people aren't going to make money. It's important for you as someone who might be in an MLM or someone who might be thinking of joining an MLM, probably don't, because facts say that the majority of people won't make money and a lot of people lose money. But if you are and you're like, JulieJo, I don't care what you're saying at all. I really couldn't care less. Just remember that your expectations need to line up with what the facts show, which is you probably won't make any money. And this idea of radical ownership in an MLM, I don't think radical ownership is a bad thing in general, right? It's important to own your own shit. But in an MLM, it's different. Because radical ownership is what they like to call, it's not necessarily your fault because the majority of people don't make money in an MLM, but I need you to act like it's your fault so that you can try a little harder to make me more money. That's what I hear when I hear her saying, take radical ownership. It's an irrational, illogical ownership in an MLM where facts do show that you probably won't make money and you probably won't break up. And if you do, you still probably aren't profiting. But I need you to think that it's your fault so that you'll work a little bit harder. Maybe you'll make me a little bit more money before you ultimately decide to leave, or before you get into a sunk cost fallacy. And the sunk cost fallacy is where, well, I've been doing this for so long. I put so much money into it. I just don't want to start over somewhere. Think relationships. Let's say you've been in a 3-year relationship and you're like, oh my gosh, I just feel like I've been in it for so long. I want to keep trying. I don't want to give up yet. But ultimately, you're not very happy. Things are not going well. The future is very dim. It is probably time for y'all to break up. But you put so much into it. You're like, well, maybe one day I'll get something out of it. That's the sunk cost fallacy. It's a logical fallacy. That happens a lot in MLMs.
Am I actually doing the inviting that I need to be doing? And maybe I am, planning these in-person events and nobody is coming. Why? What can I do to make people come? Taking that radical ownership, not from a place of guilt, not from a place of shame, but saying, okay, I feel this disappointment. I'm not just suppressing the disappointment. I'm feeling the disappointment, but I'm going to use this disappointment to catapult me into where I know that I'm going with this business. Instead of saying, I'm disappointed, I'm a failure, I can't do this, and we go quit, or we take a break or whatever, we can actually use that disappointment, that unmet expectation of not being where we thought we would, or not meeting a goal, or whatever it may be, not working with the people we thought we would be working with. We can use that as a catapult to grow us as a person, as a leader, and as somebody who is running a business. So
that's actually not a bad quote unquote mindset. Please forgive me if that triggers you. It was rational. But in an MLM, having that thought process is irrational because you're not going to make money and you're not going to rank up. And if you're making commission, air quotes, you're likely not profiting compared to what you're purchasing. So your purchase and the money you put in, you're not getting more out. And I hear that a lot with MLMs, actually. They'll say things that you're like, well, that's not like a bad idea or a bad thing to think or a bad way to do whatever. But when it comes to multi-level marketing, it ultimately is, because multi-level marketing isn't made for you to be successful. It's made for a very small portion, 1% or less, to make a lot of money while the majority aren't.
Something that I wanted to first just add, because I think that is a pivotal moment for you. It was a pivot.
Sorry to pause it so quickly, but I personally think she's doing this probably because a lot of people have quit her downline. No other reason than she's lost a lot of people in her downline.
Pivotal moment for me to say, hey, look, this isn't working, but what can I do to make it work? Because there's something that I can do to make it work. I can step into that leadership role and I can lead this team to where I know that we can go. But before I do that, I have to sit and I have to feel that disappointment, and I have to realize that I'm in this transition of choosing what I want this to mean for me. And so that's what I did. A lot of things that are working today didn't work 2 years ago. It's that we're in that transition time, and this is some things that have been working for us. In-person classes.
Here's the deal. 2 years ago, MLM was thriving. Well, 2020 was when it was started, it blew up, right? There was the panorama, panorini, pandemic, whatever you want to call it, panini. MLM blew up because people were at home, people needed to make more money, people blah, 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 blah. But in these last 3 years, almost 4, people realized, oh, this shit's not great. This is not a good idea. I shouldn't have done this. And a lot of people have shared their experience. MLM is suffering. Multi-level marketing, network marketing, direct sales, social selling, transformational marketing, whatever you want to call it, it's all suffering. I mean, it's down, no joke, over 40%. Some people say 50, Colleen, No Shame Sales Game. And some people say 60. Like Megan Dessart. So the idea that it's, oh, we just need to shift this or shift that. No, it's the business structure itself that people are realizing is bad. It's not the company. It's not your marketing or your tactics, which, by the way, yeah, it is all of that, but ultimately, it's not that you can change any of that. It's the MLM business structure. I just threw my pen down my legs. It's the MLM business structure that's the issue. And that's why people are leaving and not joining. Also, MRR has exploded, and so people are leaving it for that. But MRR is just as much of a scam. You bought a course to sell that course, and you're charging an arm and a leg for what you could get for free.
Getting people in front of the product, We do a monthly class. It's the third Friday of every single month. So we make it super consistent. People know it's coming. People know where it's going to be. People know we're going to be there. People know there's going to be a DIY there. And we just show up. But here's the thing about that. Is we show up, but during all of this time, so we have the entire year planned out. We know what we're going to be doing every single month. We know the DIY, we know the topic, we've got that done, we know the place. So we spend our entire month starting the day after the last one. So starting on that Saturday, we start inviting people to the next one. We never assume that people are just going to come because they've come before. We never assume that people are going to see a Facebook invite. We never assume that people just know that we are there. So we diligently work to get people to that in-person event from the very next day of, that one ending. And we reach out to people who have come before. We reach out to people who haven't. We reach out and invite our entire local team. We invite all of our brand partners. We invite prospects. We invite everybody local that we can every single time. And what is happening is that event is just snowballing and continuing to grow because it's consistent, it's there, it's fun. And it's not just me, it's all of our local brand partners. So my team, we call ourselves the Wellness Gathering. So everybody in the Wellness Gathering, all the local brand partners, we're going together and making this thing happen. We're being intentional. We're inviting people intentionally with voice message, coffee dates, anything and everything that you can think of. That is what we are pouring our time into.
So this is an in-person Zoom call for MLM. My question is, how many people who are showing up are not wellness partners already? If there's 10 people, 8 of them are probably wellness partners. So then who's actually making money at this event? I don't think very many people. This is the kind of thing that they say looks different, is different. You're doing something different that's working, but it's not. It's just a Zoom event in person. That's all that this is. And I really doubt it is very helpful for their team, and especially her downline. This is just like what's been done before in MLM. You invite people over to a home party, except this is just a class on how to pour essential oils and mix them together. I don't know. Doesn't sound very different from a home party.
And it is reaping a massive harvest because people want to be in front of you. People want those warm conversations, that warm hug, that chips and dip, that whatever it is, they're craving that community. And so if you can go first and you can be that community, people are craving it.
Could you imagine trying to build a community where the focus is for you to buy their product? Could you imagine someone trying to get you into community going, oh yeah, you should come to this essential oil thing. It's super fun, blah, 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 blah. It's a great community. These women are amazing, blah, blah, blah. But that person's whole goal is for you to purchase their product. That's some BS right there.
And it does take you going first. I was like, okay, I've got this idea. The idea actually didn't work out as well before. I did it a completely different way and kind of made it out to be like this gathering. Let's just come, let's have fun. And I did that for about 6 months last year, and it didn't reap a harvest really. The community didn't grow. It's the same people every single month, which is amazing, and I love them. But I needed this to be a business, something for my business, right?
So not a community, because if the same people come every time, you don't make more money. So it's really not a community. It is all about the income and the money.
We're running a business here. Excuse me. And so I shifted, and in January I advertised it, I explained it, I invited it as a class. And so every class is a starter bundle. We change up the starter bundle. The DIY goes with the starter bundle, and our class actually corresponds with the challenge that the Baby Steps team is doing. So whatever Courtney...
Hold on, that the what?
That the Baby Steps team is doing.
Baby steps?
Is leading up for the challenge that month. That is kind of the theme that we are going off of for our in-person. It makes it simple, it makes it easy, it makes it streamlined.
That is a red flag. It makes me think that they're talking about like essential oils for babies, which you might be like, JulieJo, no, they're not. But like, how many times have you seen someone on Instagram rubbing essential oils all over their baby? I have recently, actually. Their newborn baby. Essential oils. No. Also, dogs. Please don't put essential oils all over your dogs. Tea tree oil, horrible for dogs, by the way. It's pretty bad. What do you think they're teaching here? What do you think? I bet they're teaching different oil things like illnesses and colds, which is, I guess, an illness, pain, like arthritis, like how to make these different oils that help those things, huh? You think? What do y'all think? What do you think they're doing at these?
Another thing that is really important now and today is closing a class. You want to be so confident in what you are selling. If anything, if you have any doubt in your mind of what you are selling and the transformation that you can help somebody have, then that's your work right now. You need to write down every doubt, every negative thought, everything that you have in your mind about those, about selling something, about closing a sale. And I want you to write them all down, and I want you to see that they aren't true. People want what you have. People want these products. People want the wisdom that you have. People want to hear, even if your voice is shaky, even if you turn red when you talk in front of people, people don't care. They're just desperate for answers, and they're desperate to hear what you have to say.
So you're putting desperate people in a room and trying to get them to buy your snake oil. That sounds about right, doesn't it? That sounds about right for MLM and for Youngliving.
And so the way that I've been looking at it, and something that has transformed me, is that my fear is not going to stop me from somebody else's transformation. My fear is not going to stop me from playing a tiny part in seeing somebody's life change. And so if I fear being in front of people, if I fear asking this one person to come to this event, if I fear, I have decided that every single week, this entire year, I'm going to do something that scares the crap out of me. Whether it is something as simple as inviting somebody that I've wanted to for 8 years now, that I've been doing this business, or if it is something big like talking to a group of 50 people, whatever it may be, I'm going to do something that scares me every single week. And what I have found since the start of 2023 is I actually now embrace fear. And I'm kind of like retraining my brain that fear is not a bad thing. Fear is not something that halts me. It can actually be something that catapults me. And so
yes and no, because fear is a natural thing that your body does to tell you something. Fear is like, hey, something's wrong. Something's going on, and I just need you to just take a look at it. I need you to either like walk away or go take a break. Fear is trying to tell you something, and you need to listen. Whether it's irrational or rational, it's okay to take a moment and go, oh, you know what? This probably isn't a good idea. And it's also okay to take a moment and go, that's a little bit of an irrational fear. I'm picking up what you're putting down, but let's push that one aside. Fear is important, and it is important to listen to it and not push it aside every time. Fear can tell you, hey, maybe don't walk that close to the cliff. There's a loose rock right there and you might fall. Makes sense. I think it's important to hear it for a second, understand it, and then decide based on logic and the situation on whether you should listen to it or not. In MLMs, what I see a lot is them pushing away this idea of fear. They're like, ooh, you're feared? You're fearful about something? You feel fear? Lean into that fear. Go push forward through that fear. You're going to get stronger and less afraid type of thing. Probably not. Let's take a moment, right? Like, not every time you need to push through that fear.
I've started, to just really look for those things, those scary things that to get outside of our comfort zone, because that's where success lies.
That's not always true. Sure. Some success lies out of your comfort zone, depending on how big your comfort zone is and all that. Success does not only lie outside of your comfort zone. I mean, there's plenty of people who do what they're comfortable with doing, and they're successful. A lot of jobs, people are comfortable doing what they're doing and they're successful at it, especially the longer that you do it.
Right? Success lies outside of our comfort zone. If it didn't, every single person that even touched an oil would be, highly successful. But the people who are successful and the people who want this and the people who, are going for RCD are already there. They've done scary things. And if that's where I want to be, I need to do.
No, they didn't. They built a downline, who built a downline, who built a downline, who built a downline, and then just made money off of them. They deceived you into thinking you would make a bunch of money. And then they did that to a bunch of other people, who then did that to a bunch of other people. They aren't these brave women and men.
Scary things. I don't need to sit in my comfort zone and do the easy things and do what's simple. I need to be doing the things that I'm not in a rut of doing. It's easy for me to show up on social media. It's easy for me to teach an online class. It's not easy for me to teach an in-person class. It's not easy for me to meet people one-on-one for coffee. And so that's what I've been holding myself accountable to do, and it has changed the game. And what scares you is going to be completely different than what scares me. But I want you to think about that. Like, what is scaring you? What is holding you back? And those things are the things in this season, in this pivotal moment that you need to work through, and you need to see, like, do I want to to succeed? Like, do I want to stay where I am, or do I want to go further? And if the answer is further, then you're gonna have to do the things that it takes to get further, right? And I am preaching at myself. Like, this is the conversation that I had within myself in December. I'm like, okay, do I want to just sit in self-pity, or do I want to actually do something about it? Do I want to just sit here and complain that people have left, and that, you know, I'm not where I wanted to be in December, and that, you know, I had high hopes and I'm not there yet? Or do I want to just get to work and do what it takes?
What does it take though? They always say you have to do what it takes, do what it takes. What does it take though when only 1% are meant to be successful? For a lot of people, it takes all of their money, all of their friendships, all of their close family members, all of the respect that people have for them. It takes all that away from them because it's not meant for them to be successful.
And obviously, like, do the thought work that it takes, but sometimes I think we can also get caught up in doing the thought work and not taking any action. And I want to challenge you to do the thought work and take messy action while you're working on your thoughts, because
Do the thought work? You mean learn thought-stopping techniques so that you don't allow logic to continue to push you into stopping your MLM. Do the thought work. Realize that you have to stop some of your thoughts because they wander too far into logic so that you stay in the MLM.
Action is what got us the results that we have in April. We just did stuff. We learned along the way. We failed along the way. We did in-person. I mean, there's just like random things, you guys. I literally, at one of our in-person events, almost passed out, and I had to leave 30 minutes. I don't even know if it was 30 minutes. It might have been 15 minutes into the class. And my other brand partners who had never taught an in-person class before just had to jump in and take the reins and teach classes. Like,
please don't put your health below a Youngliving class that you're teaching. That's unbelievable, girl. Please don't make yourself sicker because you're supposed to be teaching a Youngliving class. That's wild. And that shows you like how far above they put their MLM, right? It's like a top priority. It's over their own health, which shows me that no, it's not about staying home with your kids and being with your kids. It's not about having more time with your family, blah, 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 because you're even putting it above yourself. Oh God, that's wild.
Things are gonna happen. Things are not gonna be perfect. You're gonna have tapas on the invitation. You know, you're gonna, maybe miss an ingredient of the DIY. Just go with it. Messy action is what's gonna create the success that you are longing for. If you are waiting for perfection, it's never gonna come, and you're never gonna do the thing, okay?
I wanna say I'm sorry. I don't know if her voice is lined up with her lips. That's her video. I don't know what happened and why it's not in sync, so just bear with me.
And so that's some things that I feel like it just internally are happening, and that is really where, things happen. They start internally, and you just taking that messy action. And as you take the messy action, that messy action becomes a little bit cleaner and a little bit better, right? Every single time, because you're learning along the way, and you're not just sitting back waiting for everything to be perfect before you take that first step. So that's just some things that I wanted to share with you guys that I feel like has been making an impact. I was gonna see, I have no notes. I'm just going off of going off my brain. But if you guys have any questions for me at all, or anything that we're doing, you can put them in the comments and I'll come back and answer them. Or you can put them in the comments now if you're watching live. Sometimes my phone doesn't show me comments. So I'm not ignoring you if you are commenting. I just can't see them. I don't know why. I can't get it fixed. I don't know. So we'll figure that out later. But yeah, I'm so excited. I'm so encouraged for where this company is going. I know that we have been in a hard season. I know we've been in a transition season. I know that we're having to be in this pivotal moment, but it's here and it's now, and we were made for this. If you are here.
So this was last April. They are suffering. I don't think they're going to make it too much longer, to be honest.
You are dreaming and you are doing the things, like, you were made for this moment. You were made to allow that disappointment and that hardship to transform you into the leader that you need to be today, the leader that you need to be to see the success that you are going to see. And I'm just so excited to see where we are at the end of this year. It's going to blow you out of the water. It's going to blow any expectation that you have out of the water if you jump in now. If you, start doing the scary things now. If you do the things now that maybe you don't even enjoy as much about this business, but you want to succeed. Sometimes we have to do those things and have, hard conversations, or help people with their order that went wrong or something, Some of those things aren't glorious, but it's just the work that it takes. So I hope this has helped you. I hope it inspires you.
Okay, whatever. Thank you for that one. Anywho, Magoo, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video. Young Living is not doing well. And I think it's just going to get worse from here. I think it's going to get worse for all MLMs. Let me know your thoughts below. I hope you have a wonderful day. I appreciate you watching. Thanks for being here. I'll see you next time.
Show you what I'm all about. Make up for what we lost. Tonight is the night that we're gonna fall in love. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about yours.